Nice detective work, Jensen. You ready to return to HQ?
Yeah. Let's hope Pritchard's found that frequency.
You said it. Hey, I got a message for you, Jensen. From Pritchard. He says he's not in the office.
Great. So what exactly am I supposed to do?
I don't know. He said you should check in with the boss.
Even if it was true that we were breeding a bunch of augmented soldiers and training them, what do they think stopping us from going home and throwing a bunch of rocks?
Access granted.
Seraph?
David's just stepped out for a moment, Mr. Jensen. But do come in. I've been hoping to meet you.
Mr. Darrow. I'm surprised you even know who I am.
David speaks very highly of you. He says that when it comes to detective work, you are like a dog with a bone. Have you found your scientist yet?
What else did David tell you?
Over the years, plenty. But today I'm here as a friend and fellow scientist. Things are getting quite turbulent out there, wouldn't you agree? So many people drunk on revolution. The United Nations being urged to intervene. And all because of the technology I created.
Things have come a long way since then.
Haven't they? And now my old friend David wants me to lead us to the Promised Land. He's asked me to invite members of the UN to Panchaea, to convince them we don't need industry regulation.
Your geoengineering project in the Arctic Ocean.
The installation couldn't have been built without the assistance of augmented workers. And when it's finished, my little hole in the ocean is going to stop global warming. A lovely photo op, wouldn't you say?
If it works.
You mean, if it doesn't kill us all?
Adam? You're back. Can I speak to you outside? Get to the helipad, son. You're going back to Hengsha Island. Frank tracked down one of the GPLs.
Only one? Is it?
Sevchenko's. But Adam, We had to call in a favor of the DOD to do it.
Meaning, the conspirators probably know I'm coming.
You're Adam Jensen, right? The security chief here? Your men did a good job securing this building when the riot broke out.
Boss said we're heading back to Hangshaw?
Pritchard tracks Shevchenko's GPL signal. If he's alive, there's a chance the rest of them are too.
That's a pretty big leap, Jensen.
We've been making big leaps for a while now.
Whatever you say. You ready to get going?
No time like the present. Let's get going.
Then hop in. Bad news, Spy Boy.
Spy boy?
Hangshaw Traffic Control just revoked our clearance. We're being rerouted to another part of the city.
I don't like that. I suppose you can't just ignore them.
Yeah, right. Chinese government. I've got to comply. Bravo Echo Echo 008, proceeding to designated coordinates. What the hell? We've got a sandlock on our tail. Jensen, all systems are down. Hang on, we're going in hard. Jump, Jensen!
Malik, we've got company.
I know, but the bird took some damage. Gonna need to patch it up before I can go.
I'll stay and cover you.
Negative. You need to get away from here and find Dr. Savchenko. I'll be fine.
Don't be a sitting duck.
Maybe not. But this is your best chance to slip by them unnoticed, and you know it. So get out of here, Jensen.
I need some cover fire! You crazy bastard! Hold it!
Jensen, the bird's fixed and I'm taking off. Now get on with the damned mission. And thanks, Spy Boy.
It's time for you.
Jensen, I've been monitoring comm activity around Hengsha. Bell Tower's looking for you. Hard.
I know. They ambushed us, Pritchard. Forced us to make an emergency landing. Malik barely got away in time.
But they're supposed to be...
The good guys?
Just give them a wide berth, Jensen. If they recognize you, they'll shoot.
Old Macer?
Jensen, it's Pritchard. Have you been watching the news?
Been a bit busy, Francis.
Jensen, the World Health Organization is advising all augmented patients to check in with Lim. There's a problem with biochip technology.
The glitches I've been experiencing.
We've all had them. So far, I can't determine why.
You heading to a clinic?
I'm running a few more tests. But since I can't exactly run them on you, and we don't know when you'll be back, you might not want to wait. Up to you.
Major malfunction in the multi-channel peripheral.
Sir, could I borrow a minute of your time? I am not mistaken.
That depends. Who's asking?
I am sorry, Mr. Jensen.
I can see that. What I really meant to ask is, how do you know who I am? Are you trying to blackmail me, Doc?
No, of course not.
Glad to hear it.
I'm afraid I won't be able to go into very much details. Not before I know you are really willing to help.
Fine, I'll do.
Thank you. Now please, understand that I am to give you sensitive information on multiple parties.
I understand, Doc. You can count on my discretion.
I appreciate it, Mr. Jensen. Obviously, you are familiar with Bell Tower and the role they have in this city. What you may not be familiar with, however, is the fact that sometimes they contract limb doctors like myself to work in private clinics on special projects.
What kind of special projects?
What you Americans call black operations. Bell Tower selects some of their best soldiers and make them to be super augmented with experimental, top-secret hardware.
Not to sound too jaded, Doc, but none of that comes as a big surprise. Stuff like that's been going on for years.
Yes. Your government and mine have both been guilty of this practice, I am sure. But Bell Tower is not a government. They are a private corporation. A private army on sale to the highest bidder.
Is this about stopping Bell Tower, then? Because as much as I might hate them right now, I'm only one man.
No. It is not all of Bell Tower I need help with. It is just one of their covert operatives, a man named Michael Zelazny. He was implanted with experimental hardware, and to an extent that is way beyond legal regulations. I am ashamed to say I have operated on him myself, and he has been used in countless secret operations for the Chinese and others.
Sounds like the type of man you don't want to see going out of control.
Precisely. Yet, about a month ago, I have heard rumors that Mr. Zelazny and part of his unit had gone rogue.
I take it you said you would help.
They sent me to the back store of a meat shop near Pandang Road, in the Yutzao district. There, I performed emergency repairs on one of the agent's AUGs, a servo replacement. I believe this back store is their hideout, Mr. Jensen.
I'll do what I can.
I am sure you are up to the task.
You shouldn't be here. Get moving.
Run, let's see if she is the story.
No time, pal. Take a hike.
Ma'am, have you seen a headlight? 世界卫生组织发布了召回公告。Hey, I know you. You're the one Bell Tower is looking for.
You got the wrong guy.
What's it worth to you for me to think so?
How about I find some other way to keep it shut? Permanently.
That won't be necessary. I see now that you're much taller than the man they're looking for.
I thought you might see things that way. Now move it.
You want...
You make... Once the call's over, I'm sitting here. Just me and my techies.
Rumor has it that Darrow is going to hold some sort of surprise UN summit in Panchaea.
Really?
All I know is the guys on top are going to be watching with keen interest.
That's an understatement of my word. I can't see him supporting the local restriction.
Mr. Jensen, Hugh Darrow here. Please forgive this intrusion, but David assured me of your cooperation and discretion. I find myself in need of some assistance.
I'm listening.
A contact of mine, Meng Yao, is in Hengsha, waiting to fill you in. I'll upload her coordinates now.
Bye bye.
Let's hope he's as good as they say. Mr. Jensen, right? Thank you for your time. I am Meng Yao.
Really?
Your boss described you as a most precious asset.
Let's hope his confidence is well placed then.
Oh, I'm sure it is. Mr. Darrow doesn't trust just anyone. We need you to help us stop a group of terrorists who are threatening the Panchaea project.
Okay,
Excellent. Here's the situation. It has come to our attention that these terrorists...
And you want me to crash this meeting?
Actually, there will not be a meeting. We are sending you alone to ensure Mr. Fei's safety. The terrorists will not be expecting that.
I don't get it. If Fei set up the meeting, why risk sending me in his stead? Why doesn't he or even some of your other agents drop in on the cellars and take the chip?
Because Mr. Darrow wants an absolute guarantee that there will be no casualties.
Anything else?
The sellers are expecting Mr. Fei and Mr. Fei alone. If they spot you, they will shoot on sight.
Story of my life.
Access granted.
关系啊，只要一晚，所有烦恼都会。
This is Bell Tower business. Back off.
Too late to hide!
李汪尽管报告，馆长。
You want to try that again in English?
Back away, sir. This is none of your business. Come out!
They send you?
If you're talking about your former buddies at Bell Tower, the answer is no.
Wait a minute. You're Jensen, right? I heard that some of my former buddies have been looking for you.
Could be. What's it to you?
When a stranger sojourns with you in your land, you shall not do him wrong.
You've dropped the merc gig to become a man of the cloth?
Hardly. I just have an interest in theology. And I love quoting the book. Everything in it is so evocative. Now, tell me, are you here to stop me?
Not exactly. I'm here on behalf of someone who wants you to understand reason.
Let me guess. Dr. Wing, right? He's a good man. And I know he's only trying to do what he thinks is right. But he doesn't quite grasp the whole picture here.
Then why don't you enlighten me? Start by explaining why you went rogue.
When an average man decides he no longer shares his employer's views and opts to leave, we say he's handing in his resignation. When men like us do the same, it's called going rogue. You can't quit a job like ours, Jensen. You know that.
Yeah, okay, I can relate. But you still haven't answered my question. And what do you mean when you say you no longer share your employer's view?
Back in the US, when I first got into the Army, I did it because I wanted to serve my country. I believed in its values. I believed in its government. Back then, I believed that by serving my government, I was serving the people it was supposed to protect.
Nice sentiment. But you don't work for the US anymore, you work for Bell Tower.
Times change, Jensen. You know the story. Capitalism's final encroachment on one of the most lucrative industries in the history of mankind. War got privatized. The US military offloaded its special operations to PMCs like Blue Water Global and Bell Tower. I believe that as long as they were working for the government, they were serving the same cause. So when they offered me the chance to work on major operations at twice the pay grade, I made my jump.
Once again, nice story, but none of it justifies what you've done. Right now, I'm giving you a chance to do the right thing and turn yourself in.
I'm afraid I can't do that, Jensen. I respect you for coming here and doing what you think is right. But you gotta understand, I'm trying to do the same thing.
Really? Okay then. Why don't we skip ahead to when things turn sour?
Bell Tower outfitted us with top-notch augmentations. The kind of stuff civilians never hear about. Gave us a massive edge over the enemy. Later, seeing as my unit was one of the most successful ones, they selected us for a special program. Top secret, experimental tech. Told us we would get to work on critical black ops for the US government. But there was a price to pay.
Go on.
We had to be implanted with a neural hub that manipulates memory centers in the brain. Basically controlling what you can and cannot remember.
And you agreed to this?
Beware of false prophets who come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly are ravenous wolves. The augmentation was supposed to keep us safe, make sure we'd never remember details if we fell behind enemy lines. That was the main function. The second one, the one they didn't tell us about, was to lower our inhibitions. Make us more receptive to orders we'd likely disobey. Bell Tower turned us into the perfect mercs.
If you were so perfect, and the hub made you so perfect, how did it fail? How come they didn't outfit the whole agency?
I told you the tech was experimental. After a couple of ops, I started experiencing memory shifts, remembering bits and fragments of past operations. Slowly, I realized some of these operations couldn't logically have been orchestrated by the government. I was asked to do highly questionable things, even by professional standards.
Aren't we all?
Not like this, Jensen. Our services have been sold to corrupt officials in the American and Chinese governments. A combination of lies and use of the neural aug made sure we complied. We were working for a shadow government. Individuals corrupted by a quest for personal power.
So how'd you get out of it?
I confronted the project director. He quoted Apocalypse Now. You have to have men who are moral, and at the same time who are able to utilize their primordial instincts to kill without feeling. I forced him to disconnect the hub, for me and my squad mates here. And then I killed him. I went through his files and contacts. I know who these corrupt men are now. They've turned us into killing machines, and now they'll get to experience their experiment firsthand.
Dr. Wing said our situations would resonate. I don't think he realized it might go both ways. Some men deserve the justice we bring on them. Do what you have to do, Zelazny. I won't get in your way.
I appreciate that, Jensen. I didn't want you to die for a cause that isn't yours. These men I killed, and these men I'm going to kill. They have names, families, they're people. Their deaths shouldn't be erased from my memory by some electronic software. They should haunt me, taunt me, until I finally meet our Lord and pay for my sins. But the men behind this, they deserve to die. And I think there's poetry in the fact that they engineered their own demise.
Hey, Jensen. Zelazny here.
Zelazny? How'd you get this frequency?
You're no stranger to top-secret augmentations, Jensen. You figure it out. In the meantime, just want to let you know I've contacted some of my old pals at Bell Tower. Got them to reassign a couple of local patrols. You should have a few less problems to deal with for a while.
Thanks.
Don't mention it.
Confirmed that the cause of these disruptions has been
让
linked
我们
to a
进
major
去。
malfunction in the multi.
So?
I found...
Really, Mr. Jensen?
They were already gone when I got there. I looked around a bit, but I couldn't find them.
This is most unfortunate, Mr. Jensen. Here is a praxis.
Returning to tonight's biggest story.
Maybe if some of those people had lost an arm in a work accident that day.
You must get that chip back.
I got the chip.
Excellent work. Seems Mr. Darrow was right to trust you.
How about you tell me?
Blackmail, Mr. Jensen? Don't waste your time.
I get that you're in a tough position. You feel you'd be betraying your employer's trust by giving me proprietary information. But Sarif and Dow are friends, and they sent me here because they both trust me. You should too.
Trust you? This is business, Mr. Jensen. And in business, trust is a word with no meaning. Now, will you please give me the data chip?
All right, take it.
Good.
It seems David has a flair for choosing his people, Mr. Jensen. You have done me a great service today.
Glad I could help. I just wish I knew what this was all about.
You never know, Mr. Jensen. One day, you just might.
You're in the wrong part of town, Lao Lad. Go back.
That's far enough, Guaylo.
Tong.
You disappoint me, Jensen. I thought we were friends. Then my hacker gets killed. You break into my place of business, and you don't even have the manners to knock when you enter our room. A lot of bell tower heavies looking for you. Any reason I don't just turn you over?
Yeah. Vasily Savchenko.
Never touch the stuff.
You're wearing his arm. GPL device inside it. Let me straight to you.
Scavenged tech. Get you every time. Wrong woman, don't do that here. Sorry to say, the man I got this from wasn't in a position to complain. Bell Tower gave us his corpse a few weeks ago.
Bell Tower? Not Tai Young?
Tai Young's not the one grabbing people off my streets and giving me choice arg, so I close my eyes.
Savchenko had 4 other scientists with him.
I'm not wearing any of them. So maybe they're still alive, and maybe I help you out with this.
Go on.
I've got a pretty good idea where Bell Tower's been dragging people. Problem is, bastards got my son. And he gets a bullet if I step out of line. See where I'm going with this?
Where's he being held?
One of my harvester boys will tell you all about it. Meet him in the sewers near the Alice Garden pods. Then, when you free my boy, come back and we talk some more.
I can hardly wait.
You find my boy Lawai. He's smart. He's not a fighter.
And the scientists and doctors who are supposed to be finding a cure are doing jack, smack, shit. Tell me something. How can medicinal technology and knowledge make huge leaps, but the diseases these technologies are supposed to be fighting are getting worse? How does that make any sense? AIDS isn't the only virus making a comeback. Tuberculosis is back in the game too. India today reported a 30...
Access granted.
Oh wait, I don't have no freaking sponsors. Let's get back to talking smack. The captain AIDS is on the rise, and there's nothing we can do about it. You know why there's nothing we can do about it?
Access granted.
More scientists, and the scientists and doctors who are supposed to be finding a cure are doing jack, smack, shit. Tell me something. How can medicinal technology and knowledge make huge leaps, but the diseases these technologies...
Current industries resolved. Regardless, several violent skirmishes. Serious injuries were reported. This is Eliza Cassam reporting. A handful of people were taken into custody this evening, following yet another anti-op.
Mind-blowing question I have for you folks. Living clinics across the world right now. I have a hard time believing the bio...
Access granted.
Go! Now! I won't say it again!
良宵，只要一晚。
You one of Tong's boys?
No. I just like hanging out in the sewers because they smell better than what I eat for breakfast. Any other stupid questions?
Not yet. But if I come up with one, I'll be sure to ask.
We thought he was in the upper city.
What could be safer than inside Bell Tower headquarters?
You're about to find out, Mike.
I have a feeling I may have met them before.
You are the escape plan, my friend.
So Tong's willing to risk his kid's life on one man's abilities?
Not necessarily. When you get to Tong's son, give him. Now get going.
on, Father. How long is it going to take to break me out of here? I'm bored almost to tears.
You Tong's kid.
So my mother keeps telling me, but you are neither bell tower nor Chinese. Am I to assume my honored father is covering his back by sending you in to spring me instead of his harvesters?
Wise assumption. Let's get out of here.
I don't think so. Last time I checked, Bell Tower had a lot of firepower out there. You may have been able to slip past them with ease, but I'm thinking it's safer in here. No offense, American.
None taken. I wasn't crazy about the odds myself, but when I questioned it, I was told to give you this.
Well, well. Way to go, Father. This changes everything. Assuming they reassembled it correctly. You ready to go?
Tell me something first. How the hell was Bell Tower able to nab you?
Whatever do you mean?
Come on, kid. I may not be 100% up on the triads, but I'm betting your dad's not far from becoming a dragon head. I find it highly unlikely that the local authorities could just waltz in and take off with his son.
Under normal circumstances, you would be right. But in this case, I'm the one who waltzed over to them.
You volunteered to be kidnapped? Why?
Let's just say, my father and I do not share the same love of augmentations. I find them dangerous and not something our family should be putting so much trust in. But father expects me to, how do you say it? Follow in his footprints? So a change of scenery is required.
I'm not following you.
Tong would never willingly allow his only son to leave his side. I needed a way to convince him that I had to leave Hengsha immediately.
So you orchestrated the kidnapping. You're playing with fire, kid. By pitting the triads against Bell Tower, you've put the entire population of Lower Hengsha at risk.
That may be true. But you are here to rescue me, aren't you? So my plan seems to be working this far.
Right. And sometimes the more power you think you have, the more quickly it slips from your grasp.
I will try to remember that, American. Are you ready to go now?
I'd feel a lot more confident about things if I knew what the device was and exactly what you intend to do with it.
You mean they didn't tell you? Not surprising, I suppose, given how much Father enjoys his little secrets. I assume you've noticed how his harvesters like to repurpose existing technology?
If you mean steal it from other people and sell it to new customers, then yeah, I noticed.
Not necessarily a practice I approve of, but not everything gets resold. Sometimes it is taken apart and reassembled into something more useful. A handheld version, for instance, that doesn't need to be implanted in the human body to work.
You're still not telling me what that thing is.
Easier if I just show you. So, shall we leave?
Yeah, but stick close.
Don't worry about that. See you later.
You have talent, Jensen. You ever need a job, you tell me. I'll hook you up.
I take it the kid made it back in one piece?
He says I owe you a weapon. I always repay my debts.
I'll settle for you telling me what you know.
Bell Tower keeps 2 ships in port. They think nobody notices, but I keep an eye. Every couple of days, one of them loads up in the middle of the night and sails out.
Heading where?
A wise man doesn't ask. I just know the Heizen Su pulls out tonight. And where she make port, I bet you find your scientists.
That's a whole lot of maybe, Tong.
True. But maybe you lucky more times than I can count.
Bell Tower runs tight security. How do you expect me to get on their ship?
One of my boys will leave a package inside a locker for you in an equipment shed. You find it, we talk, and I tell you what to do next.
I'll be waiting with bated breath, I'm sure.
You buy? Come back.
That noise?
You sure could teach my boys some tricks, Jensen.
Tong? How did you get this frequency?
Ancient Chinese secret. Now listen. You're going to plant that package in Administrator Wang's office. Put it on the bastard's desk and trigger it. Sound good?
Sounds like I'm doing you a favor. How does it help me?
The explosion should distract the guards. Then you hop in a cargo pod and off you go. But you only got one shot. No turning back once you trigger that thing, you get me?
I got you. Only set it if I'm ready to go. Shit! So that distraction wasn't just for me, was it, Tong? Richard, I'm going off the grid for a while. Not sure how long.
Why? What are you up to, Jensen?
Following a lead.
And where exactly is this lead taking you?
You there! Get that cargo, clear the fire! We're pulling out now! Load it, secure those pods!
Answer me, Jensen. Where are you going?
Hell if I know, Pritchard. Hell if I know.
Gamers. Assemble.